Welcome to another exciting episode of MiniGrinder Paints, in which I'm going to be painting Reaper's Drakar, at least finishing it. And if you missed the first episode, go back, watch that, and then come back and we'll, check this one out maybe. You're going to want to, because I'm going to cover pretty much everything, including how I blended those lovely sections in between the different color heads in the back of her, as you can see right here. So some lovely blending going on there, and I'm going to show you exactly how I tied it all together. So stay tuned, watch it, enjoy, like, subscribe, all that other fun stuff. Starting with the black dragon, we're going to do his eyes, kind of a red bloodshot eye. When I do black dragons, I often like to do like kind of purples, shades of purples with it, or sometimes, like maybe the green underbelly, like the Sleeping Beauty black dragon with the purple wings and stuff. But I kind of wanted to go for just the underbelly is taken up by the OSL effect from the cauldron, and also the shadow effect. So having a green underbelly was kind of not really a possibility with this, with the black dragon, or even going and playing with too many purples. So I did want to use some shade or tone of purple in it, but I didn't want it to be extremely apparent. So I wanted the overall design of the black dragon to be kind of just very natural looking on the top side. So these red eyes is definitely you thought that red line there was the pupil. It wasn't actually, because he's facing forward. It was the edge of the eye. So, but anyways, I get carried away sometimes, and when I'm doing these dubs and these audio dubs, and I'll be watching what's going on and commentating on it, and I'll see something, I'll be like, oh man, I gotta say something about that, because actually I was fooled. I painted this model months and months and months ago, but so I had forgotten. And it was funny, when I was doing the editing of the thing, I also got fooled then too. So I got fooled twice. So I know you got fooled. Yeah. If you remember from last episode, I talked about painting the negative space, and that's what I was doing there with that, with the eyeball, where you thought it was the iris of the eyeball, that sliver going up, and actually it was the edge of the iris, and the eyes are facing forward. So I often paint the negative space to do my detailing rather than actually painting the details themselves. So here we are with the black dragon's skin. As you can see, it's almost purple. It's like a grayish purple. And what it actually is the Dark Elf Triad from Reaper's MSP, and it works perfectly for black dragons, actually. Of course, we're going to be using that burgundy wine for the inside the mouth. I love that burgundy wine. I had to buy another bottle. There's not too many things I have to buy multiple bottles of, and burgundy wine's one of them. Such a great natural red color for me. I know it's kind of it's like a maroon, and it's kind of purpley, but it actually has. See, when you wash with it gets more purpley, but if you apply it directly, it has more of a red tone to it, like a dirty, dried blood tone, and I like that aspect about the burgundy wine paint. It's definitely a favorite. Yeah, check out that Pinky Anchor. It's an important technique to get a hold of. If you don't use your pinky to anchor your hand, then you're going to have a harder time getting those fine motor skills tuned to such small details. It's definitely important. The thing that stinks about it is that you have to touch your model. So you're going to make sure that your fingers are relatively clean, especially your pinky, because that's your anchor buddy. So yeah, make sure they're clean and dry, and then, you know, I wouldn't worry too much about touching your model. I mean, at this stage anyways, the whole thing's in pieces. I'm gonna have to put these pieces together, get the green stuff out, seal the seams, fill the seams, model in some like little scales and stuff, so like the seams are completely hidden, and then, you know, I just want to say that, you know, I did it again. I was watching myself dry brush that, and I was like, wow, that's some good dry brushing right there. And totally sidetracked my mind. Yet again. But that method is key, though. I mean, you saw how effortlessly, like, I got that gradient on that horn. I mean, I was just blasting left, right, up, down, you know, with the brush, and it just came out just right. And the trick is how you load your brush. It's all about how you... I showed you the colors. That's the other trick. You know, colors are half the battle. Figuring out what kind of colors you're going to use, that's half the battle. The other half of the battle is loading your brush. Actually putting paint on your brush. And then paying attention to how much paint and how much water is in that brush at that point in time. And that's pretty much all miniature painting. Yeah, there's the techniques and all that other stuff. But, you know, that's, I think, at its core, what the art of miniature painting is. You know, I think it's just those two things. I mean, all things are simple when you break them down, you know? They're made of simple parts. The whole universe, the whole thing. Yeah. Miniature painting universe. I can actually pretty much say whatever I want at this point in time, because most people actually don't watch the whole video. It kind of dies down by this point in time. So maybe I gotta keep you around somehow. Here we go again, painting the negative space. Look at that, look at that. That time I'm not trying to fool you. That brown line in the middle is probably where the pupil's gonna be. Yeah, now we're just adding this. Oh, see, I felt like there was a little bit too much paint on the brush there. So what I did is I just tapped it on my finger to remove some of the paint. You can still see, actually, that the left side is kind of a glob and the right side is less of a glob. Those little speckles, I really like the green dragon eyes, the speckly, and I don't know, they were fun to paint. I try to make each dragon's eyes independent of one another. I don't want them to all be the same. I use the same technique. I outlined that in part 1 also, and it's, you know, it's kind of how I approach all of miniature painting anyways. Base layer, top layer, highlight. You know. What we got going on here, you're probably wondering, hey, I don't see any change. What's going on? I've taken a brush and a brush that I've washed, right? And then I've cleaned it out. I cleaned the water out. I dried it out. So it just had a little bit of water on there. And then I went and I painted that water on the scales, right? And then I took the brush and I cleaned it. And did the same thing with a little bit drier brush this time. And then I loaded the green on there very thinly. And now when I apply that green over the, you know, the black prime with the white highlighted dry brushing on top there, it automatically creates that shadow layer because the white and the black are so contrasting to one another. And the fact that you're using the water with the paint, and it kind of creates that opacity again. I talked about that in the last episode as well, that you're using the water as a means of turning up or turning down the opacity of the pigment. Here we're doing a little bit of color mixing between that olive color and I think it's like a camo green, or I can't remember what it is. I'll have to go look. But that and the monster maw, and to try to create kind of a fleshy green color somewhere in between. Again, I'm using the water to develop the opacity of the paint. Basically, that's kind of like the difference between a wash and a glaze in that respect. A wash has less opacity than a glaze, and when you layer something, it's got full opacity. And most people, when they paint full opacity all the time. But as you start learning the art and all the techniques behind the art, there's only a handful really, and they're all about how much water is on your brush. That's why I say at the core of miniature painting, it's all about what colors you choose and how much, and how your brush is loaded, and that's it. It always goes back to that. All the techniques come from that. How much paint is on your brush? How much water is on your brush? And that pretty much tells you what kind of technique you're going to be using. If you have very little water on your brush and very little paint, well, then you're going to be dry brushing, right? And if you have a lot of water on your brush and very little paint, that's going to be kind of a wash. Now, it's not going to be a very good wash. What it's going to do is be kind of a tint. It's going to tint whatever the top layer is. And you can use that tint to then create your gradients. A lot of people, not a lot, okay, so not a lot, I'm not that good, but quite a few people have said, oh my god, is that dry brushed, or is that airbrushed? No, or they automatically assume it's airbrushed, the finished product, and it's not. It's because I play with the water dials on my brush and the pigment dials, and that's it. That's because I use those tints and I use those glazes and I use those washes to develop the gradients, and that makes it look, that makes it look dynamic and cool and artistic. It was a lot easier when I had to do it just full on top layer opacity. I'm just thinking back to that right now. It was a lot easier. But this is a lot more fun, honestly. And the final product is extremely rewarding. Unfortunately, I have to ship these beauties off to be enjoyed by other people. To help make ends meet. So it's not all fun and games. There's a sad side of the story again. I hope sometime I'll be able to visit that person and maybe have a session. I'll get to see her again. Moving on to the red dragon head here. As you can see, it's still unattached from the neck. I did this because the bottom jaw and the neck and the torso of the Drakar model, they're all one piece. So I don't want to have to like handle the whole dang thing, just to paint the head. So I kept the head separate. It was simple enough to fill the gaps anyways. So I'm going for kind of like a glowy, volcanic red, I don't know, for these eyes. I want them to be like alive with fire. If I could explain it any other way. I want it to, just look gleaming with fireness. Phoenix Red, I fell in love with Phoenix Red. For the longest time, I was always looking for an orange that was just right for fiery stuff. And that's another MSP. All I use is MSP. That's just because I can't afford multiple different sets of paint. So, but that, I like it. I mean, MSP is great for layering, and that's what I do. I'm a layerer, I guess. The people. That's in quotations. The quote, people, unquote. Might label me as a layerer, painter. I don't know. I don't know all their lingo, honestly. Here we are again, checking that opacity, building up those layers. I gotta say, it's been... I'm sorry I don't get these videos out more often. Maybe in the future I'll have changed and I'll have a lot of videos out and a whole bunch of subscribers and all that other fun stuff. And all the fame and fortune that comes with that. But until then, it's... for especially a 30-minute video, extremely taxing to get the amount of time together without screaming kids and all of that fun stuff to make such a video. And this Mount Drakar video set has basically taken taken root on my phone. all the videos of it and pictures and all of that stuff to make these videos, and it has done so for almost a year now. And obviously I should be able to get videos out more often than this, but and things might change hopefully this year to where that can happen. Right now I have a 3-year-old, and he takes up a lot of time, and he's very loud like all the time. So it makes doing these long dubs, especially, a 30-minute video, it could take me forever to do the audio dub for that, especially if I try to, write things out so that all sounds good and everything like that. But I just don't have the time for that. So I apologize if my more natural approach to this dub isn't as good as the other ones, but you know what? They're out of the house, and I took the chance. Like I said, I gotta get this off my phone. It's like backing everything up. A 2-minute video, that's super easy. A 5-minute video, I can still do that. A 30-minute video is actually 2 back-to-back 30-minute videos is extremely difficult for me to do. So I hope you don't mind. But I do have plans for a lot more videos, obviously, but there are going to be shorter videos by far, and that's just because I want to do more videos, but I just don't have the time to do these super long ones. So, and I got a lot of exciting things. I always got a lot of exciting things going on in my tabletop world to share with you guys, and I want to get back to that. I want to get back to my roots of broadcasting the tabletop also, and with some lovely painted miniatures. I do appreciate all the new likes and subscribes that I've received, probably for my Drakar Part 1 video. Man, it's been great. It's been great seeing that. I feel bad every time I look at the phone. I'm like, oh wow, doing good, getting steady rolls subscribers in and everything. Oh, this is kind of nice. And I'm just like, how am I going to finish that video today? I gotta cook, and then I gotta clean, and then I gotta cook some more, and then kids are home, and then yeah, and then I gotta cook again, and then sometime in there I gotta paint also, and do other things. It's never ending. But we're gonna get a respite here. We're gonna get a kid in preschool, so yes sirree. Once he's in preschool, I'm gonna have, I think, an extra 3 hours a day to myself. Now see, a 3-hour tour is kind of what I need, man, to do like a 30-minute video. So there's hope for the future for longer videos. But I think I'm going to take a break from doing long videos and provide you guys with a bunch of short videos. I got a lot of stuff that I got to do and get out to you and share with you. So stay tuned. And if this is like, I don't know, if this video is more than a year old, then most of what I said actually won't be pertinent anymore, because I'll be on to something else. But stay tuned anyways. Hey, I'm just being real with you. It's a tendency. I always have a bunch of ideas, and then I try to flesh them out, and I flesh it out, and I'm like, I get to a stopping point with it. I'm like, well, I have to do this first before I can accomplish that. I have to do this. So I keep on roadblocking myself, but it is stepping up. Things are stepping up. I'm actually the roadblocks are working. But at some point in time, they're all going to come out, and it's all going to come together. I'm doing this in my free time, and I got the kids and all that stuff, so, I'm doing what I can. The channel will be something someday, but until then, enjoy the beauteousness. Now, here's where the fun business comes in with this model. And this is what a lot of people want to see. They want to see, hey, how did he blend those necks into the body? They want to. That's one of my buddies was like, oh, that's what I want to see. I'm like, yeah, well, that makes sense, but it's not. For me, it wasn't that difficult. See, I just took that red color, right, and I wanted to see how it would blend in with that blue, and so I did it. I didn't know that it was going to turn out that way, and I saw the color that created. I was like, oh, I like that color, but I don't want it to all look like that. I want that strong red color to creep up the neck a little bit. So after I did that little glaze with the red and it established that pinkish color, I went and I matched that color with one of my paints, and just because those two red and blue mix, and we made kind of like a purpley pink color, I was like, oh, I like that. So I utilized that and built that into the neck because it came out naturally like that. So it only made sense. But I like that transition from that blue to the red. But it wasn't too difficult. You saw it was just a glaze. And then I sort of went back in and built up the red color with kind of a top layer over that. The paint was still wet, so it blended nicely with that glazed area. And then the paint was still wet a little bit, and I went back in with that pink color to clean it up, clean up that gradient. But it worked pretty good. And over here on this side, we have we're going to do the same thing that I did on the blue dragon neck with the black dragon neck. And it's that red color again. Like a glaze, and then I top layer it to really build up that red. So, I mean, because the red is so strong in the neck, it's got to match that, you know, that strong red color. And again, I go back with that same pinkish color that's on the other side. And I use it on this side as well, even though, like, you know, when you mix that black and that red together, did it make pink? But I like that color showing up on the one side, and I wanted there to be some symmetry, even though there's a lot of different colors going on. And, you know, so I wanted that symmetry to be there, so I used the same pink color in that spot. Here we're just doing a wet brushing of that red onto the scales that were dry brushed white. And then I can just, since it's a wet brushing, it's going to kind of tint the paint around it. And I just use that to blend in. Here we're doing it again. This is kind of just a wet brushing. And then going back with it. Applying more paint. And just kind of with dry brushing motion, putting it on. So at this point in time, it's just a matter of, you know, cleaning up some final bits and bobs on this model. It's just about wrapped up. The spines on the back are pretty much, I think, ever since I've started painting miniatures, the spines on the back have always been the last thing that I paint for some reason. Possibly, I think, because, you know, those are the things that you're handling most often when you're, you know, moving the dragon around or whatever. So they always, you know, the paint always gets rubbed off on them. So maybe that's why. I don't know. But I think I always do the spines last for some reason. Spines and wings, man. Wings and spines always last. And as you can see, unfortunately, I didn't capture any of the video doing the wings, but they're really just dry brushing, more wet brushing. Precisely. Oh, look at that. You see that in the background? There's Luna. Very nice. Some apple juice. Part of my life there for you guys. That was a snippet in time. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me once again for part 2 of MiniGrinder Paints Drakar. It was been a blast. It's great to finally close this chapter. I got a lot of new stuff that I want to share with you, and I just can't wait to do so. But for more intermittent ramblings from me, you guys should check out my MiniGrinder Studio over on Facebook, that I guess I'm the most active on. So if you have any questions, send me a message. I'm happy to help. I love the hobby. I love sharing the hobby with you guys, and I love sharing my exploration in it and discovery. I don't want you to think ever that I'm, you know, that I'm trying to teach my doctrine or something like that. Like, here's how you need to do it because this is the way that I do it. Because I actually don't paint the same way every single time that I paint. It's always changing. I just use the same techniques in different orders, and I just play around. You know, I see, hey, I want it to be more this way. So, you know, I use those techniques to get to my objective rather than create the objective prior. I mean, yeah, we come up with these strategies for how we want to paint our models and all, but you never know what's going to happen and what you're going to have to come up with to get back to where you want to be with your model. I just need to say thank you to you guys for taking the time out of your life to watch my videos. Of all videos to watch, you took the time to watch mine, and that truly motivates me. All the likes and subscribes are great, but knowing that you know, maybe I brought some insight to you to help you, or just, I don't know, help you waste some time out of your life. Brings all the joy to my heart. Until next time, hone your craft.